Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again.
We'll Go out for the evening. Welcome to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Hello, all you returning listeners and viewers to the show. Hopefully, you guys are having a good evening and all that. Yeah, so and for anybody that's new around these parts, well, who are we exactly as we appear on our screens and all that? Well, we're a bunch of weebs. We have anime in our souls as usual and thoughts of wrestling out of control. And we love the entertainment of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling events of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So grab your steel chair, yell for the table, and get put through an experience unlike any other. Brought to you, of course, by Anime We Studio. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. I, of course, am one of your co-hosts of the evening, your reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Watkins here, helping to guide us through the wrestling events of the evening and hopefully lay down some philosophical knowledge on some of you people out there. But of course, never alone in this endeavor, for you see two lovely gentlemen are standing right above me in this ring. First and foremost, the man to the right, he is the probably most positive person you'll find in many podcast situations and in many discussions based around anime, manga, webtoons, wrestling, any of that nerd weeb culture stuff. He'll be the one to bring you the positive vibes. He, of course, is a visionary in this aspect. He's also kind of a revolutionary in this modern day world. He is the man known as the legend himself, Legend D Vash. Vash, how you doing tonight?
It's your boy, the legendary human typhoon, Legend D Vash here. And as you can see, my Money in the Bank did not get cash in this weekend, but Money in the Bank got cash in, and I can't wait for us to talk about it. The Evolution 2. Hopefully, WWE understands that this has to be a yearly event of how much the fans, the pop for some of the entrances. Some of the entrances needs new music because there's a few superstars like, what the fuck is this song? I didn't even recognize it until you came out. But such a great show to talk about Evolution 2. A packed weekend for pro wrestling. Hopefully, guys, everyone enjoy our trifecta from yesterday, our Evolution 2, and then on Monday Night Raw tomorrow. Then we go back to our regular scheduled programming. So I can't wait for us to talk about this and break it down. So join the chat, comment down below, let us know what you like, and also like the stream if you enjoy us talking. It helps us to know that you continue supporting what we're doing. But I know we're not alone because we have the genius of the sky.
Yes, that's right. He is no monkey sitting in there in some pocket dimension. No. He is the genius of the mat. He's here to kind of help us process these stories that we have to, look at and watch on a weekly basis when it comes to these wrestling shows. Again, we have here Drop This Box. Drop, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. And yeah, like I said, I wanted to see something that came out of this show to help build us into SummerSlam, and like I put in the title, the show delivered to me. I really enjoy it. This is probably the most fun I really had of a WWE PLE in quite some time, honestly, maybe even ever since the Elimination Chamber. I really enjoyed this quite a bit. It was a really good show to me, and I'm really excited to talk about it.
Yeah, so we'll get into the card here in just a moment. I don't know how much discussion, like deep discussion, we might have, but hey, we'll see when that road crosses. But I kind of want to start this off really quick, because like Vash alluded to something, and it's kind of something that's I'm sure been on everybody's minds as Evolution 2 was becoming a thing and the lead up to it, and now after tonight, it's kind of being yelled at by a lot of people. So I mean, I kind of want to throw my voice in there as well. I'm really hoping that this is something that the company can actually look at and learn from. Like last night we had talked about AEW doing the same thing, where like they had kind of like a soft reset or maybe a harder reset than most, and they needed it as well. And I hope tonight was that for WWE in many aspects. Not because there's one thing where it's like, because we had a 7-match card here tonight that nothing really felt rushed. adverts and advertisements were few and far between. It didn't feel like anything was being forced down our throats with it. It felt like an old pay-per-view again, like a 2023, 2024 pay-per-view with WWE. And that feeling, it just feels so good. It's so refreshing from like that monotonous feeling that you get with like Raw or SmackDown or any other PLE that we watch, like Backlash, for example, you know? So I'm hoping the company not only learns in that aspect, because it makes for a product that's like very easy to digest and makes you want to go back and watch it because you won't get bombarded with ads or like anything of the sort. It's also the fact that like Evolution 2, first one happened like 7 years ago. That one was also pretty good, you know, and a lot of people at the same time were saying, hey, we need to have this every single year because you have a really good women's roster. You should utilize them. Well, guess what? The same can be said for this event, if not far exceeded 2018's show. Like, this show was probably the best show that WWE's put on this whole year. And that's including 2 nights of fucking WrestleMania that were like, there were bangers on there, but I mean, you can make an argument for like a certain triple threat to possibly be better than that triple threat, but that's a whole other discussion that people can have in a later date. But like, it shows like this that really make you realize just how deep and how good the WWE women's roster is. Like, they can seriously put on an all-women's show every single goddamn year. They choose not to, though, for God knows what reason. But if anything about tonight, there was a freaking Beyonce concert just next door from them. Like, and they had a packed house for this show. That should tell you something about the quality of your female talent on your roster. And like the faith that your fan base has in that roster. Use that roster, continue, like, build upon it from tonight. You know, you even had a banger of a tag team title match for your women. And Lord knows how many times people have bitched and moaned about the booking for that stuff. But like, it's just tonight was one of those nights that you just get reminded of that. And I hope the company just takes a step back and realizes that they can do so much better with their product, not just with the women, but with their men, with NXT, with Evolve, with any other show that they do or put on. You can do so much better. And tonight proves that. You just put the trust in your talent and they will go far and beyond and exceed any expectations. So just listen, because like really there's not much critiques I have for tonight. You know, the booking was solid. There were a couple things that like may have been hit or miss just like in matches or anything, but really a lot of that's nitpicks at best. The fact that the weakest match, at least to me, was the NXT women's title match, and that was still pretty good. That was still pretty good. Like, come on, man.
Because of the match of the night.
Yeah. And like, that's not taking anything away from that match either, because it's really good, you know? So I wanted to start with that preamble. If you guys have any preamble that's, not regurgitating anything, then by all means, let's just get some out there. Cause like, I'm sure I'm not the only person that feels this way. Like, as somebody that's like followed wrestling for like the better part of like the majority of his goddamn life, like when you have potential, use it. I hate when people just leave potential on the floor and just don't do anything with it. But of course,
I love the words you said. Untapped potential pisses me off, and as somebody who works in the industry of entertainment, there's always untapped potential, and the best way to find it is to 100% of what Job said. It's like the untapped potential really makes you crave for more. Like, there is other superstars that hate being shut. Montez Ford, a few of the superstars that have, or Camilo Hayes and other people, that other superstars that have said that untapped potential, I'm waiting, I'm hungry, I'm going to do this. And you just want to see them succeed. There are those type of superstars in the acting world, in other type of career jobs overall. It doesn't have just to be entertainment. It could be other career jobs. There's sometimes some people believe that I'm meant to do more. Myself, I am the CEO or CFO of this company, what we do, and I love to find untapped potential because I want to see other people succeed, because I believe people have success in them. We just got to make it happen one way or another. But with just that being said, I agree 100%, and I want to back up with what Watkins said. Evolution 2 has to be something done yearly, just not in the same weekend as four different events, where it actually feels on a solidated event that is dedicated for the woman and for the booking itself. But if this was just to see how, trying to test the waters, trying to see where things will go, hope they use this opportunity. Maybe we didn't get more of these last year, 2018, when it first happened, because of the old regime. Who knows? But now that we had this, we will actually see, hey, if they don't do this, it's because of the current regime, and we could blame any type of fingers where we want by next year. But for this, 100% with Watkins, I don't need to repeat anything. It's just we need more of this, and this was a solid event for 7 matches, and only one being the weakest for me. Like Watkins said, that's a fucking solid event. Like, still, all the ladies, the women did great at the event. They did good spots. They did nice references that we're going to compare to other wrestlers that have done other spots that we have seen in Royal Rumble, or other spots we have seen in other events in the past couple of years. But this was just great. I can't wait for us to break it down and just talk highlights of what the ladies did for tonight. Even I was excited to watch it with my wife, because I kept telling her, like, hey, you have seen a lot of events with me, but I want you to watch this women wrestling, and I hope to one day go back to see Evolution 1 when I take the time to go check it out, because I haven't actually seen it myself.
It's on YouTube. On the WWE Vault, they uploaded it.
I will see and make the time for it one of these days. Drop, what else you have to add for this? How else do you feel for Evolution 2 after experiencing it?
I mean, this is something I've been wanting to see for quite some time, because I really enjoyed the first one, and it's like a lot of people say online. I mean, I'm even looking at other people that are doing the exact same thing as we are right now, having a live show talking about it. A lot of people are saying, this is one of the reasons why WWE is known to have the greatest women's roster right now, because of the amount of talent that's there, and they need to do events like this to really showcase what they're capable of. The ladies that were on the show tonight were able to carry this show, and they were able to make it very entertaining all the way through. And it just makes me happy, because I can honestly say, when it comes to some events, I might not go back to it, but this is definitely one I might revisit one day, just because of the certain feel I had with it. Like, I felt fully immersed. It's almost like if you're playing a video game, you get really immersed into that. Kind of like how when I first got into Final Fantasy VII for the very first time, I got really immersed because I fell in love with the characters. I really like the story. Or if it's like you're watching, let's say, the MCU films, you get so immersed by following all these characters' journeys until Infinity War and Endgame, when you look at all the events that play out when it comes to those super hype moments or those heartbreaking moments. That's how I feel here, because knowing how I followed a couple of these ladies' journeys in NXT, and also seeing a lot of these newer superstars on the rise that might have not been on NXT, but still being able to showcase what they're capable of, and looking at people that were part of the first Evolution, a part of this one as well. It just really hits me. Like, it just makes me feel like I'm in a part of like some other world where it's just me watching it and no one else is by my side. And I really love this. That's why I said earlier, like, once we did our introduction, I was like, you know what? I haven't had this much fun since Elimination Chamber this year. And like Watkins said, sure, there was a couple matches on cards that were bangers that you could always look back at, like the CM Punk triple threat and all that. But it's like, something like this, and we're huge advocates for women's wrestling on this channel. It's something that I definitely do want to see more. It's something I not don't oversaturate, but at least time it well, so it makes sense to do it. Like, I get the whole thing of like having it be a yearly thing, which if that is the case, like Vash said, place it on a good date, but make sure it calls for it and it makes sense. And I just really love this one. I don't really have anything else to say outside of that when it comes to our overall discussion as of now.
Yeah, and
I do
yeah,
I do want to reference the thing that dropped through in our thread. That's something beautiful that Rhea said at the end to Iyo, saying that we did good there. Man, we
mhm,
made event evolution. We did it. We did it. That's just like two superstars on the top of the game, that's top in the industry to main event this. To me, that's congratulations to them because I can't wait to
mhm.
see when is the next one. And this is just making history. So congrats to them.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, sorry, I had to change my hat. I realized, wait, no, that's not on theme. I was wearing OTC when I should be wearing Becky Lynch hat because
I was so thrown
we're-
up because you just went,
Yeah.
"Ooh," and I'm like,
I was just like,
I
wait,
mean-
hold on.
I'm like, Sydney good?
Yeah.
What happened? What's going on?
Yeah, I got Princess Peach on my shirt, so I'll represent
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah, oh yeah,
I'm
don't worry.
here, I got
I-
me from New York, so I'm like, I'm probably
There you go.
representing the Lena Vega and a few other superstars that are from the tri-set area,
Yeah.
maybe.
I've also got my Alexa Bliss shirt on too, so
There you go.
gotta
We doing the best.
represent one of the harems. So you know.
Plus, hey, I'm a green screen, so I can have the benefit of this too. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
But, like,
yeah.
So like the reason I wanted to start with like just our little preambles of all this because like I think out of everything in the night like there are two matches that stand out for the definition or like the best examples of what we were just talking about, and they kind of like bookended the night as well. So one of them being the main event, like the picture that's right behind Vash, that little background he has of Iyo and Rhea hugging, Naomi cashing in, all happening within the main event. And what a fucking main event it was. Like
It was.
Iyo and Rhea literally left it all in that ring. And then of course we get our ref bump because this is 2025. We can't have a wrestling show main event without a ref bump happening, which okay, fine, whatever. But like they spilled it to the outside. They made things different. They made this rematch of theirs feel different, which is always what you want to do when you have like a rematch or a series like this with two people. And the fact that freaking Naomi like blindsided everybody because everybody thought, oh, she's going for Tiffy. Oh, she's gonna cash in on Jade at SummerSlam, blah blah blah. But I don't think that's the direction they're going now. Just after this now. And now that I'm thinking more about how the night went, there's a few other moments and matches and little tidbits here that I'm like, okay, this was set up throughout the night in a way. In a way, it was kind of set up, or at least what the future may hold for just WWE and all these titles in general. But like, congrats to Naomi because she earns it. Like she spent the better part of when was that walkout? Like it was like 2022. So like the past like 3 years, she bet on herself. She went out of the company. She honed her skills, got her name up even more, and came back guns a-blazing, did the thing with the big three. Then she turned heel. This heel character finally has like some justification, something to like fight for and all that. Like this is what I was talking about with like the other company with like Kyle Fletcher and all that winning TNT title, but we saw what happened with that. Like this was just a great moment followed by a great match. Just again, like the best example that you could give for the message that we gave at the beginning of this show. But I mean, obviously this has not only Clash of Paris implications, but things going on with SummerSlam, because what's going to be the SummerSlam matches? Is it going to be a triple threat between these three? Is it going to be a singles match? Who knows what we're going to do with it? But Drop, I'm going to start with you with this. What do you think of the match overall? Anything you wanted to highlight that happened in the match, and just like where you think things are going to be going with this women's world title now going into SummerSlam and going into Clash in Paris?
So I'll start with the match first because I feel like more of the discussion I have really is where like the whole world title picture is moving forward now. But I mean, with the match itself, like I really enjoyed it. I like seeing Iyo and Rhea go out there and prove like why they're the best women's wrestlers on the roster, because I'd argue and say they're probably like the best ones on there. Like I would honestly put them 1-1 just because of how amazing they are. But like this match definitely delivered. I expected it to deliver. You got great superstars in here that know how to wrestle. And when it came to like the whole ref bump in the match, I actually liked it only because it led to what we saw in the audience, which was really interesting. Because if you're going to utilize something like that, try to like do something where you take advantage of it. Because normally when we see stuff like that, it's usually a ref bump happens, and then all the action takes place either in the ring or outside of the ring, and it normally just stays there. And then the ref ends up getting up and pins whoever to like win the match. They took advantage of it here, where they actually went out into the crowd. They decided to put on a show. They were beating each other up. Iyo did a crossbody. I at first thought she was going to do over the moonsault on top of that and land on Rhea, but she ended up doing a crossbody on her. That was a really nice spot. I really liked it. The audience was really into it. And then they continued to beat each other up when they're like going up the little stairway in there. They were just trying to choke each other out. Just a lot of good things in between. And they just know each other so well. So it's kind of like if you're playing a fighting game and you know how to use like all the buttons to like block a lot of moves, like you're not going to really catch me like mastering Marvel versus Capcom. But when it comes to games like that, like normally like there's people out there that know how to block certain moves, to do all these different kinds of combos or whatever. When it comes to Iyo and Rhea, like no matter what Iyo threw at Rhea or no matter what Rhea threw at Iyo herself, they know how to counter it because they know each other so well because of the history. That's why I ended up putting them on the thumbnail, to really show the evolution of these two girls when it comes to the journey that they've been ever since they crossed paths with one another. And it's just one of those things where it's like, if you know your dance partner so well, you're going to put on a show. And this is one of the things that we've talked about on the show, which is a common topic in the wrestling space when it comes to certain wrestlers having a perfect dance partner, or another word for it is like a wrestling soulmate. I honestly say that Iyo and Rhea definitely fall into that category, because whenever I see them in action, I just get super happy. And I also saw that this match itself was like 26 minutes long, and I think someone said it broke the record for the longest women's wrestling match.
Hell
26 minutes that is non-stipulation.
Yeah, so it's like I really like that, because it just goes to show it's like, you want to deliver a main event, you want to put a whole bunch of people on their feet, because you saw the reactions from the crowd when it came to a lot of the spots. I mean, that's definitely a way to do it. Like, I still remember that one guy's reaction when Rhea went for the Riptide, and you thought the match was going to be over, or actually when Iyo attempted the over the moonsault, that guy thought the match was going to be over. No, it kept going. His mouth was widened, and that's just what I love about this. I'm just really glad to see these ladies make history. I'm really glad to see these ladies hone their skills so people know who Iyo Sky is, so people know who Rhea Ripley is, because there's a lot of people online. I'm not going to say this about Iyo because everybody knows she's fantastic. But there's also some people online, I'm not saying us, but there's also some people online that don't really take Rhea as serious as a wrestler, because she never really gets enough time to really show what she's capable of when it comes to certain matches that she's in. You could clearly see she knows how to move around the ring, and she knows what she's doing in there when it comes to her and Rhea to really put on a performance. So she deserves a lot of flowers as well. So it's just one of those instances where it's like you get those certain PLEs that might not have been the greatest build up towards them, but then when you watch the show, it's just fucking great. And that's another example right here, like when it comes to this. So, I mean, I need to argue, say this might have been like one of my favorite matches, like over the weekend. I'd even say this is probably, I would put this in WWE's like match of the year category when it comes to like certain, when it comes to like certain matches that took place. I mean, you already got two women's matches that come to mind on the top of my head when it comes to that triple threat at WrestleMania, and also this one now. If you want to talk about a one-on-one, I mean, this definitely would be my number one. Like, this definitely does have like match of the year potential when it comes to the company, when it comes to the topic of conversation between like wrestling itself, when it comes to what these two ladies are capable of. You know who these people are. You know they're going to mean business. So, and to talk about the whole world title picture, which I wanted to save that for last, that's the real question I really had moving forward, because it's like I said in the threads, if you guys checked out our Discord server, it caught me off guard, and that's a good thing, because when you have Money in the Bank winners, sometimes if you know if they have like certain tension of a certain superstar, you normally know the sort of direction that they're going to be going down when it comes to who they're going to cash in. That's why when a Loggins alluded to earlier, where it's like, you know, you got that whole thing with Jade and Tiffany right now. A lot of people were, you know, looking into that, and they're like, you know what, Naomi is going to take that opportunity away from Jade because of, you know, all that shit that they're going through right now, which, you know, made sense. And I was definitely on there when it came to that, because that's just the sort of feel I had with it. But when you had Naomi come out and cash in, and she threw Rhea out and she pinned Iyo, which again, Io's fine. I don't want to hear she's buried or anything. I would honestly say at this point,
people saying that are going to be stupid.
Yeah,
like, I'm sorry. I'm gonna flat out say it. If you're saying Iyo was buried after this, you're just flat out stupid and wrong. Like, I'm sorry.
That's why I hate. That's why I hate like we're the three of us are from a different era, but that's why like I don't mix well with a lot of these like new gen people with the kind of mindset that they have. But I'd argue and say now, like a Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, Iyo Sky's bulletproof. No matter what you do to her, she'll be perfectly fine. But like I said, when it comes to the whole world title picture itself, that's where I have a lot more like questions. Like okay, where is this headed? Like where is like everything going to lead to now? Because we thought we knew the direction before, but now we don't. So it just gets me really curious to see, is she a Raw superstar now? Is this Triple H telling us that, you know, she's moving on from Jade? She's going to be doing things over here, and how and where are things going to lead with this when it comes to Naomi carrying that title the next couple months or so, depending on how long she has it? What sort of people is she gonna cross paths with? Like, it just opens the door for a lot of things for Naomi, because all we really had of her was either a Bianca thing or a Jade thing. Now it's almost like you had a complete reset of her characters. You don't really know what she's going to do. Kind of like how we talked about LA Knight, which I'll just throw him in there because it kind of seems like based on that main event we're getting tomorrow, it's kind of like he just got thrown into Raw without telling us that he's on Raw. He's on Raw. So it just makes
good.
So it just makes sense where it's like, okay, you got a new path for her. Where is this gonna go? Where is this gonna lead? Is it going to be a triple threat match between Rhea and Iyo and Naomi at SummerSlam? Is something else gonna come in between with that? Like, we really don't know. So it's like we can sit here and think about all these different kinds of things, but you never know like what's coming around the corner. And that's what I like about this. But I'm happy for her. I'm happy she had her moment here, and it just makes me really excited to see like what's going to be happening next. And thankfully Monday Night Raw's tomorrow, so we can get a lot of those answers. I would assume she would probably be on the show, so I'm just like very curious to see what's going to lead to this. Another thing I was thinking of in the top of my head as well is I don't know if they're going to be switching belts around when it comes to shows because of like what's going on too, because that was something that came to mind where it's like, well, as of now, she's a SmackDown superstar, so I don't know if they're going to do one of those things where it's like maybe we're going to have the world titles on SmackDown and then the WWE titles on Raw. It's basically what I'm trying to say. There's just a lot of questions coming through with this Naomi thing, because I can't say I predicted this because I didn't. I didn't expect this to happen at all in the slightest.
Yeah.
And you even have a couple people on there making little prediction cards, because you probably have people out there saying, okay, who's going to win between Iyo and Rhea tonight? Because I had a couple of friends of mine, they have their own little Discord server making a little pamphlet of voting, and whoever wins. And let's say you had either of those options. You never know, no one ever expected Naomi to come into the picture. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Because that's the thing. Like, so many people thought she was.
I was going to add that what's funny is that I didn't think she was going to cash in the whole time until the event itself while we were watching. After Naomi lost, which we'll talk about later, but once Naomi lost, and I'm like, okay, Jade won. Okay, she's queen of the ring, but I'm like, well, like she's getting two losses against Jade. What does Naomi have to do? Like, is she gonna cash in? I literally was like, I was asking myself, like, is she gonna cash in to either Tiffany or to either Iyo and Rhea? But then I'm like, with Tiffany, she's not gonna be like beat up by Trish, so I don't think so. But Rhea and Iyo, like, imagine. And then by the time I'm like, okay, I don't think she's showing up. But to actually see it happen, I'm like, in my head I was bullshit. I don't think it was gonna happen, but it did, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, well, now I forgot where I was going with all that. So, Vash, what'd you think of the match and all that stuff? And Yeah, that hold on, hold on to a lot of your thoughts because there's a reason I put the next match as next for us to talk about.
Oh yeah.
So keep everything that you were thinking in your mind because we'll come back to all that. But Vash, what did you think of the match? Was there anything that you saw as a highlight in this match that you wanted to just like throw out there? Maybe talk to me.
Chat,
Talk to me.
I'm gonna be honest. About the 26-minute match. Congrats to them to break a record or to have something big on them on Evolution, and to have their match as the longest non-stipulation match of WWE of the women division, and it was 26 minutes. So congrats on them on that. I've already saw people arguing that it was Lita and Trish and everything. I'm like, no, there was no stipulation. It's a big difference. So congrats on that, and I'm really happy to see that. The disappointing aspect, I need to rewatch the match from the beginning because my wife was massaging me. I've been having a bad back, so I did not get to see the actual screen. My screen was here, so I was watching it like I was with people watching back in the day, like a baseball game. You just hear the radio and hear the commentators do all the talking and expressing on what the match was happening. So that's what I did. I was literally hearing the first 15 minutes, literally just hearing what's happening, and then by the time I started watching was when the ref bump happened already, and Iyo and them was out with the fans. So imagine when you're just hearing what's going on, and when you look up, and you're like, how do we get there? Oh shit, yeah, the bump, what the fuck, she gonna do the moonsault there, and then just seeing how everything happened. So it was pure anarchy in the most wholesome way. But also congrats to the commenters, because as somebody who was only hearing most of the match in the beginning, thank you to Wade Barrett and to Michael Cole that they did good on the commentary for tonight. I didn't feel like they messed up the moves, because I was hearing in the mind of hearing and visualizing what was happening. So I was very happy on that part. But the match itself, from what I saw, it was brutal. It was amazing. They kept kicking out on a few pinfalls that I was like, oh shit, that was close. I thought Rhea could have won a few times. When it comes to Iyo, they was fucking great. Thank you of what you both gentlemen said, that when the ref bump happened, it wasn't like self-contained within the ring. It wasn't self-contained outside the ring, trying to use the bell or trying to use some interference. They actually went within the fans. They went around, and they actually make it feel like they was doing what I felt almost like a no count anywhere, no holds barred for a second. I'm like, oh shit, this feels like it. But for them to actually have that, because of the ref bump, it was nice. The ref came at the right time, and then I believe Rhea kicked out at that moment, and then Iyo's face was like, oh my god, what else do I need to do? And then Michael Cole brought that back from what was mentioned a bit ago, so that was really cool. And then for Naomi to actually show up, like I said earlier, in my head, I was just talking to myself during the event. I was like, imagine that happens, because what else can Naomi do of her taking 2 L's? So for that to continue and Naomi to actually come out, and I love it how it wasn't like a, remember back in December when Tiffany was using the briefcase, it was like, I don't know, wait, maybe, I don't know. That ref was like, where you want it? Cool, triple threat, announce it. And then she was waiting. There's a triple threat, anything goes. And then I love how Naomi was waiting to hear that to make it official, and then that's when she used the briefcase. Those little small details matters, because it makes it feel like still waiting for the official rules to be announced, and make it feel like has became a triple threat. So I really love that. Throwing Rhea outside the ring and just having on the split moonsault, it's called, right? Split moonsault?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, split-legged moonsault.
Yeah, split-legged moonsault. So I really love that happen. And then just seeing Naomi having the W like this, it was amazing. We've been asking for this, like, hey, like she has to have a successful. At the moment, every woman having the briefcase so far has had a successful cash in. Really curious to see when the time comes in the next couple years, who would it be to fail, who would be the first one to fail in the aspect. So when the time comes, can't wait for us to conversate that. But when Naomi won, that was amazing. when it comes to what's next, I'll wait for us to kind of transition more into the conversation because Naomi is like in my head, I'm like, all right, cool. You went from a SmackDown superstar, you're now a Raw superstar because you literally became the face. But depending because of the rumors we've been speaking over the past couple month and a half that the draft will be happening soon or during SummerSlam, so that may be something that we may be turning into since Drop mentioned earlier about the LA Knight type of thing going for Raw. Like you're sneaking him in there since he's kind of feuding with Seth and the Seth Riders, and then right now going on with Naomi with Iyo. So that's a possibility of those little sticks going in with what is representing the company. So who knows of any of the switches that will be going on moving forward with the draft happening soon or not.
I just realized Raw has a top women's heel now.
Oh, they do now.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Naomi is top
yeah.
heel.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, because also Liv is not there no more. She has kind of faded out of
Liv's
that. And right now
gone.
she's injured. Yeah. Rhea's became baby
Everybody
face.
else is face.
Yeah, because I know that's been...
You have Ivy Nile, but you know, that's Ivy Nile.
Yeah, that's more mid-carder talk. I'm like, hey, you're there.
Yeah, that's like, yeah.
I know Becky is technically a heel too, but she's more mid-carder for the IC title, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, oh man, that's a good thought there. All right. Yeah, no, so I, just we could be here all night, praising Rhea and Iyo and all that, because that, as they should, they deserve their flowers, they deserve their moment.
5
they
stars.
put on. Yes, agree. If I could give more than 5 stars, I would, but that would be breaking my system, and I don't want to break my system like a certain other guy that does star ratings and all that. But I do want to give Iyo and Rhea their props. They put on a hell of a match. Again, if it should be in at least the conversation for match of the year between many companies, I think. But well, that'll have to be a discussion for another day. Now, transitioning now to, because this wasn't the only thing Naomi had to do tonight. No. She had to go against Jade Cargill in a no holds barred match. Very violent, very brutal. Not as brutal as other no DQ matches that we saw this weekend. But again, that's just the nature of the company that you're watching. They still put on a very brutal, hard hitting match. Naomi kind of in control for the majority of the match. Like I would say 80% of the match was Naomi just beating the shit out of Jade Cargill. So, but we're telling this story here of Jade being a very not defensive. Basically, her defense is like at 200 or whatever. Like she can endure a lot of pain, a lot of torture, a lot of just agonizing destruction.
I'm impressed.
But she did, yeah. Yeah, because it just took like a super Jaded from like a top rope position onto a damn table to put Naomi's crazy ass away.
Yeah.
Which was a bit disappointing, that part. Like that's my only honest critique out of that whole match. It's like, I guess, when they did the super from the top, but like, I wish you did something extra to make it like, damn, you find it out like the extra case closed. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, like that's my only critique of the match. But go ahead, continue.
No, I get that. Yeah, because that's the thing. It did kind of just end abruptly, but considering what we got later on, fine. I think. Just so Naomi could like come back with a broken freaking nose, mind you, and cash in her money in the bank. I think the story with this though, and this is why like I wanted to transition your thought process with Naomi's future, because it kind of also ties into not only Jade's future but Bianca's future, because I think there's going to be a lot more with Bianca and Jade now moving forward.
Yeah,
now that Jade's basically done with Naomi, because like you just look at the face of Bianca the whole time. I mean, obviously, throughout this whole feud, she hasn't been happy with both parties. She's been very sad that like both of them just couldn't get along, and yeah, she lost 2 sisters basically. But there might be a part of it that might lead to what many people want, the Bianca heel turn.
Yeah.
Because I think, and I don't think it's going to be mainly, oh, I'm siding with Naomi. It's more of, hey, things were fine until you came here.
Yeah.
Like just kind of your presence and how you were, like you kind of broke up two friendships and all that. Like they could do it more nuanced than what I'm saying and all that, but like I feel like there's something deep there that they could really tell, that could really get a good story and get good motivations for the two to have a very strength based match and all that. But Vash, I'm going to start with you with this one. What do you think of the match overall? Anything to do with like Jade, Naomi, and Bianca's futures moving forward? I do have to grab some water real quick, so I'll be right back. But go ahead, Vash. Let us know your thoughts real quick.
Yes, when it comes to this match itself, I really enjoyed how brutal the match was. Like, Waka said it perfectly. This match was brutal. Jade was getting knocked around by Naomi. She didn't give up. There was one time that I thought was gonna be a close second. I remember when what's his face? CM Punk used the toolbox to Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that Jade was about to do to Naomi. Drop the whole toolbox on her head until she roll over. I'm like, yo, is she actually about to get hit? If she actually get hit, and of course she roll over. And I'm like, okay. I love the intensity. I love the objects. The table was used. I think 3 tables was used during this time, I believe. And I love how the consistency of the back and forth, it didn't slow down. I love how Naomi kept like trying to find a weapon and trying to cause pain and didn't stop. I love how the acting from Bianca Belair, she looked good in the acting of feeling worried, trying to choose a side between like light and evil in a way, like which friend do I support? I'm here in the middle of trying to help them between like like damn, they're hurting each other. I'm like, hey, are you good though? Are you good though? I still gotta do my job. But can you stop? And I love when Naomi kicked Jade by with the announce table and the TV got hit and the smoke came out. That scene was good because even Bianca, as her job, as the ref, she said, hey, are you good? Like, just tell me to stop. I could just call off the match and I could get this. And Jade was like, nah, and like move aside, like, and still trying to push in. And then obviously 2 minutes later, the match ended. Like I said earlier at the start of the segment, my tiniest critique is that when you have a superstar, a wrestler, literally take in and out your opponent so badly, but then the match ends within those 2 minutes by taking like a super spear or a super pile driver or super etc. or whatever version of the move is, by being done on the top rope or by doing 2 extra spins, whatever it may be. But then they get knocked out, but you just got 80% damage, like in Smash Bros. Like that person gets hit of a 200% health damage, but then the person that has a 50%, 200% should lose, but somehow the 50% won. It's like, how the fuck that happened? So it's just those little tiny detail kind of like, okay, Naomi got knocked out by that. I wish something a little extra, maybe hit over a chair. They're like, all right, stay down, then pin her. I feel like that little extra, but that's my little small critique, as you just got damaged 80% throughout the whole match and then you just won. Okay. But that's my overall, like the match was good overall. I'm happy. I feel like this match was better than their first one a couple months ago.
Okay. I think to kind of maybe help with your analogy with like the whole Smash Brothers thing, the one thing that kind of makes me kind of rationalize, or I guess maybe like cope with it, maybe, I don't know, whatever word you want to use with it, it's the fact that like Jade, at least in my mind, she does what Naomi does would be like 3 damage or whatever. What Jade does is like 15 damage. So like a simple suplex that Naomi would do, 3 damage onto Jade does the same move, 15 damage, because she's just stronger. Like more of her stat is just in attack rather than like speed or anything like that. So that's why like I could like because I see your argument with that, but that's why like once the super jaded through the table happened, I was like, oh, that was you getting the home run bat and using it. Gotcha.
I
You're
understand where you're coming
muted.
from
Oh, there you go.
with that reference. I understand
Yeah.
what you mean with that reference with like the bat, and you're like, "Oh, thank you for
Mhm.
coming at the right spot." The boom, you got hit.
Yep.
I'm like,
Just get the
"You
little
mother-"
shiny and just like.
and then you get hit off the map. You be like, "You son of a bitch!" And that was my last life. I'm like,
Yep.
I see.
Yep.
Nice reference. I
Game.
see where you're coming from. Exactly like you said, top rope being used. It was like,
Mhm.
"Hey, I got you." Reversal, boom, knocked on the table, and the table is the extra damage being used. So I get it.
Yeah. See, you just snap into that Slim Jim table and all that. But Drop, what'd you think of the match overall? And just like kind of, I guess, continuing that thought process of like Jade, Bianca, and Naomi. Now that Naomi, instead of doing what people thought she was gonna do in cashing in on Jade at SummerSlam or like Tiffany Stratton later on, nah, she's moving to a different show now. Doesn't have to worry about Jade anymore. And just anything continuing forward with Bianca in this story.
Yeah, so I thought this match itself was probably the perfect conclusion for these ladies, because after sitting on it, after hearing what you guys were saying, and just taking time to think about it overall, I feel like this was probably a good way to just let these ladies do what they need to do. A no holds barred match was perfect. Having Bianca be a part of it as well was perfect. It made a lot of sense. And I mean, you need to really look at the amount of you need to look at the history that these two girls have. So it kind of makes sense that you involve like chairs, tables, different things in between, kendo sticks, to really just show how much these two girls hate one another. So it's like when you had Jade and Naomi like compete in this match, we expected it to be one of those chaotic matches where they were just going to rip each other to threads, and Bianca was just basically just the one person to really wrap everything up in a bow to really put an end to it, because I had a feeling that Jade was going to win this match only because she needs that momentum heading into SummerSlam. And also it just kind of felt like, looking back at it now, that I mean there really wasn't anything else you could really do outside of that little discussion point that we had earlier when it comes to Naomi cashing in on SummerSlam to really fuck things up for her. It definitely seems like they are moving away from that. And I'm starting to get on board with that whole thing with Jade and Bianca, because it does make a lot of sense, and it's not like it wasn't teased before, because like I said before in like past episodes, when it came to that whole thing that Liv Morgan said to Bianca about, oh, do you ever wonder if this lady's like trying to steal your spot and everything, when it comes to her just walking in, tagging alongside you, pretty much trying to get close to you and everything. Like, have you ever wondered if that might be a possibility? And I feel like they wouldn't have brought that up and just forget about it, because now that you got Naomi out of the way, now you can see what's going on with Bianca. Because one of the things I have noticed, we haven't really had these ladies talk with one another. Like when it comes to Jade and Bianca, like they haven't really had any mic time with one another. They haven't really talked. They haven't really talked or anything.
Yeah, just a couple stare downs, like, and that's it. Like just looking at her, just like, huh, like almost like they're both kind of judging. Well, like, it seems like Jade is more judging Bianca, and Bianca's just kind of sad that both of her friends are just breaking the group apart.
Yeah, exactly. Because like the whole time that we had like Bianca and Naomi, when they had the whole segment there, and then you got Jade coming out and everything, they just been looking at each other, like you said. So it's like, I'm really wondering like what's going on here. Like that's what I really want to know, like moving forward when it comes to all of this. I want to know exactly, like, are these two ladies ever going to talk? Because I feel like they need to talk. You can't just leave it at there and just have them go off and do their own thing. So I definitely do feel like we probably will get that Jade and Bianca match. And for all we know, it could easily get some hints with that leading into the rest of the year, depending how they want to orchestrate everything. And now that I'm looking at it as well, there's a part of me thinking that I can't leave it off the table of Jade potentially winning this match at SummerSlam against Tiffany.
Oh yeah, no,
especially
like
if you're
I
gonna
could
write that
definitely
story too.
yeah, I could definitely see Jade now winning, holding that title, and then because again, like we can eventually get to that Bianca storyline with it.
Yeah,
So because it looks like she is still injured. I think I did see some tape around
yeah.
her left hand. I think it
So yeah,
was.
that was my assumption as well because
Mhm.
I was trying to catch it when she first came in the ring and everything, and I couldn't catch it because she kept using her right arm with her hair and
Yeah.
everything, and I couldn't see the left. But then when I stepped away, my wife told me like, "Yes, babe, I saw bandages on her left hand." I'm like, "Okay,
Mhm.
so that must be it's still not yet fully clear, like medically clear, or she must be still not fully 100% because for her
Yeah.
to still have the tape or because I have jam these four fingers. So I
Yeah.
have never broken them. I've never broken them. So, but I have had jammed these fingers where it takes a month to
Mhm.
heal. For her to still be like this in WrestleMania, it shows that she actually broke these two fingers and to still be in the
Yeah.
process of healing. And these take long to heal after you're older and everything. So hopefully she gets medically cleared by SummerSlam. So for anything to build up by them if she's good in the next 4 weeks, 3 weeks. But I was I'm glad that she was involved in Evolution for that reason.
Yeah,
At least,
Mhm.
all
I
right,
do
cool.
like
I
that.
cannot fight.
Yeah.
I cannot make clear. I could just do my job as ref and still represent and still be involved in the Jade and Naomi storyline, which was amazing.
Yeah,
And I think what's great about this, and because I was just thinking about this as you guys, were talking about the match and all this, like a lot of storylines are intertwining with each other, and like a lot of like outcomes from tonight really kind of built upon others or like pushed them in many different directions. I mean, just with the main event itself, I mean that changed not only Tiffany's trajectory into SummerSlam, Jade's, Bianca's, like so many stories intertwining with whatever happened tonight. And just like that proves that like when you focus on like this overall storytelling, you can make magic like this that gets us asking why in the more positive ways rather than why are you doing this? Why is Gamora? Um it's just all really good stuff, man. Which again kind of ties into the next match we'll talk about here, the battle royal for a shot at your title, either WWE or World's title, whatever show you're on, at Clash of Paris. Like, so we had Stephanie Vaquer one. Let's get that out of the way. But like
Yeah.
overall, I kind of want to hear from you guys because like it's kind of hard for me sometimes to talk about battle royals because I'm just like, all right, it's fine until like the last like final like five or six people are in there. So I kind of want to hear from you guys like any highlights you guys had because like again Stephanie won. Nikki Bella got she got like kicked hard by Lash Legend. I was very impressed with that. Lash Legend being like final two as well was
yeah,
crazy to me because
I was shocked,
like
impressed.
I was happy about that though. Like crazy as in okay good let's push her more because yeah she's fun to watch. But yeah, like I said, I kind of want to hear from you guys here more with this because like I usually I just kind of sit here and just like talk about moments and spots. So I guess like give me your favorite spot, your least favorite spot, someone you were happy to see lock up again. Talk to me. Vash, go first.
I would like to say first thing that the entrances, please, a few of them
Hmm.
need to change, continue to improve.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
one of them girls that I do enjoy to watch is Kelani Jordan. And when her music hit, I didn't even know I was her until they did the camera shot close up. And I'm like, oh, that's Kelani. Understood. I couldn't recognize you, but overall it was great to see you. And the few other superstars was great to see. I didn't feel like any type of surprise. Any surprise like up and coming people that I didn't expect to see. Um, there was a few that was outside in the beginning that got kicked out so fast. Easy Damn didn't get me stressed. Tatum Paxley being the first one being thrown by Nia Jax, making sense. Nia Jax has a history of throwing the most in any battle royal or Royal Rumble type of experience, so it makes sense. But I just felt bad. The battle royal sometimes is a bit wonky in the beginning. I would say like the first
Mm.
couple minutes because when the match started, I felt like I don't know if you guys noticed, but the first couple like 2 minutes or first minute when the match started, now Jax was like, okay, where do I go? Okay, I'm gonna just jump here. Like I just felt like it was a bit sporadic, not in the best way possible, but it felt like a bit random in that aspect. But overall, it was a good battle royal. I want to give a big shout out to, who was it? Was it Carolina Jordan? Yes, it was Carolina Jordan that did the Kofi Kingston. That where Kofi Kingston had to, a couple times he did the handstand or he jumped from the fence by where the crowd is to the staircase, and then he got back in the ring. But Carolina Jordan, she got caught by Easy Dame and Tatum Paxton, went to the announce table, and then she didn't know how to get there, and then she later did a handstand. They spoke highly about her background of her gymnastics, and then that's how we got her from going the handstand to the ring, and she did a lot of course strength. So I want to big shout out to that. And I agree with Watkins. Lash Legend being there, she has shown that she's been improving in her role, in her acting, and getting more expression in when she, when she launches her big kick move, or when she shows there's more expression in coming out of her. So I'm very glad to see the spouse, the partner of Trick Williams, and her as a success in what she's doing. Sucks for our old group of Metaphor being left in the dust in a random Tuesday, but then now seeing Lash Legend slowly succeeding in that realm. So I'm very happy for her. So those are a few highlights I want to say so far. I want to pass it as well to Job to see what else he could add to the table.
Yeah, so when it comes to my thoughts on the Battle Royal itself, I am happy that Stephanie Vaquer won. She was my pick to win this thing. She definitely was the popular option when it comes to who people really wanted to see win the whole thing as itself. And I feel like probably what I liked about this is the fact that you had the ladies get some representation that weren't a part of these like big matches on the show, because not everybody, as much as you want, are going to be able to have like a singles match, triple threat, fatal four-way, tag match, etc., so on. So I'm glad at the very least they were able to include some people here. And even when you had like a few NXT representation on there, that was really nice, because I know on Tuesdays NXT, Ava did choose people to represent that brand on there, so I'm glad those ladies were able to showcase what they were made of there. Even if they weren't able to win the big one towards the end, I was glad to at least see them there, get a couple interactions that I haven't really seen before when it comes to people that they haven't competed with against. And I like, seeing Soul and Charlotte. I mean, not that's a different thing for later. I was looking at the document. But I guess I just liked seeing, how things are with Nikki Bella as well, ever since she last competed in a ring, to see, how she could take certain bumps, how she could go against these certain ladies, because there's a different field of players now compared to who she was going up against before, because it was a whole different roster when she was there. Like, you had her and AJ Lee having a thing going on for a bit. You had, Natalia was around when that stuff was going on. But it's like, what I'm trying to say is like, it's just a whole different ball game here. So having her go up against these rising stars in NXT, or a lot of these popular characters on television on Monday and Friday nights, it was just really interesting to see what she can do. And even seeing her go up against Nia Jax a few times was also pretty cool, because there was parts of me thinking, like the way that things were getting built up at first, I thought she was going to get an elimination on her. But I'm glad in the end, you had Stephanie Vaquer and Lash Legend team up with each other in order to take Nia Jax out. Because I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just thoughts of the Royal Rumble earlier this year. But it just reminds me in my head that, sometimes you're going to get those people where Nia Jax is going up against in the ring, and you always have that certain worry where it's like, oh, is she going to eliminate our favorites again? Because like I still remember, and I remember when we talked about the Royal Rumble earlier this year, when there was like a huge swarm of people that got eliminated by her,
and Iyo was one of them.
Yeah, and Iyo was one of them, because I know she was my fan favorite to win the thing. So I was like, oh my god, is something gonna head south? Is it going to be a different thing? Because I feel like, honestly, when it comes to the people that I thought was going to win this match, like outside of Stephanie Vaquer. I feel like the only other option I really had was Nikki Bella, because I thought you could have like threw her a bone when it comes to possible players that could have won the thing. I think it was really between her and Stephanie Vaquer, but it was just really nice to see, you know, how these people operate one another. I guess that's all I can really say. And then you had that whole spot with Kalani Jordan that Vash mentioned as well. I thought that was really nice because she is a gymnast. I'm glad they mentioned it on commentary to really showcase what she's capable of doing. So that's really nice to see. Just hoping for the best whenever these girls from NXT, you know, hop onto the main roster, because seeing how they work with the main roster woman now, you know, gets me really excited to see how things are going to turn out. And I also love the moment with Stephanie Vaquer towards the end, giving her speech, talking about how wrestling's her first language and everything. So I thought that was a really nice moment in itself, and it's going to be very interesting to see what she decides to do moving forward. I would assume if I'm her in this scenario, she's probably not going to choose what she's doing yet. If I was her, I would probably say maybe she'll wait until around I guess summer. I feel like the best bet for her really is to wait who wins whatever SummerSlam match, so she could really determine what champion she's going to go up against. But we'll just have to wait and see how.
Does she have to choose, or since she won on Monday Night Raw, or like, does she have to go for the Raw title?
Well, since she won the Battle Royal itself, she gets to choose who she can go up against at the Clash of Paris thing. And
I didn't hear that part then.
Yeah, so you have SummerSlam coming up. So regardless who wins the Jade and Tiffany match and whatever's going on with the world title, she can go after either one. So, I mean, if I was her, I'd just wait until that, because then you're going to start really pushing towards Clash in Paris towards the end of that month. But that was nice.
Yeah, and I mean, I do want to give Nikki Bella her flowers, because like she had that one video promo. I think it was this past week, and it just leading into this event too, with like, because like that Charlotte article that she wrote kind of changed. I feel like that changed a lot of things, but we'll touch on that maybe a little later too. But it kind of made me look at a certain few people differently, like one of them being Stephanie McMahon, who was like one of the hosts for the event. It kind of made me think a little differently of her, just what Charlotte had to say in her write-up. But the other one was Nikki Bella. And so between that, just her attitude, or like what I was feeling from that pre-recorded promo, to even just how she was tonight, I could tell that there's a fire in her. And like, that's why I like how you brought up, like, she's in a different playing field now, even when she like came back prior to this, like, because she had a little bit of a run in 2018, I think. Like it wasn't long, it was like a couple months, but like I do remember her being in there, and like that was already like a different playing field for her. But like there's something different about the field right now, where it's like everybody, and even just like, because you could tell this from backstage when things changed a few years ago, there's this overall just feeling of we're going to help each other get better. The whole idea of like iron sharpens iron. Like everybody seems to have that mentality, and you kind of see that in the women's division in WWE the most. Like they are out there to make each other look as good as they can, and to help one another like continue to get better, you know. And that's why like people like Stephanie Vaquer gets these opportunities and gets these chances to showcase what she's all about, and to give her the opportunity to play on the big stage, because like she could be a main event player on the roster, and like this is her time to show that, you know. But yeah, we'll know more of the playing field after SummerSlam, because then we'll know, okay, this is where this person's probably going to go, and this is where this person's probably going to go. And they could always swerve us too, like they did tonight with the Naomi cash in. But yeah, I mean, it was just great to see a lot of interactions. I think one of my favorites to see just on screen was Lash Legend and Zelina Vega, just because of their height differences and just overall size differences. Like it's a little different than like if Zelina was looking at Nia, because I think Lash is like a little taller than Nia.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and she's just like, she's just like a wall of a person, and it's great. She's got a great look to her with it. Yeah, yeah. And other than that, I mean, your typical battle royal shenanigans going on. We had our Kofi Kingston spot. We had our spot with the U.S. champion as well, with like Zelina getting one over on Julia. So I guess we're gonna continue that story as well going forward. Yeah, just a lot of good stuff, a lot of great action going on. But the best action though, like if we praised the main event so much, then we got to praise the opening of the night, because this opening contest for the IC title between Bayley, Becky, and Lyra, they came out guns a-blazing. They went out there and were just like, all right, we're gonna set the flipping tone for tonight. You guys are gonna remember the show for a reason. They didn't stop at all. Like, this was just non-stop action going on. And I love how commentary kind of made it a point to really harken on the fact that this is a true like rock, paper, scissors contest here. Because they mentioned how like basically Bayley has more over Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria has more over Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch has more over Bayley. Like, they're again, it's the whole rock paper scissors concept, or like the water grass fire concept kind of triangle thing, where like they're each weak against each other. So who's gonna win? Charizard, Bulbasaur, or Squirtle? Like, oh man, well, yeah, I said Charizard there, but he'll probably win. Whatever. Yeah, just it was just really good. It was really good. Like, this also has like potential to be in definitely match of the night conversations, maybe match of the year. I would have to go back to some triple threats at WrestleMania and all that. But Drop, I'm going to start with you with this one. What did you think of the match overall? Like, any moments that really got you digging besides the finish? Because that pinfall was clean as hell.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah, I was actually gonna like start off the conversation with that too, but yeah, that finish was really nice. The way that she did that that pinfall to just win the match itself, I really liked it. I saw a lot of other people online really call it out. That was a really nice shout, because just the way that she flipped, she pinned Bayley to win the match and everything, that was nice. I just loved how destructive these ladies were, because they really felt like they were going out to war. They wanted to tear each other apart. They were showing, all the tension that's currently going on with them when it comes to what's going on between Lyra and Becky, and stuff that's going on between Becky and Bayley, and Becky and Bayley and Lyra. So I just really liked how aggressive they were, because Lyra was very aggressive, Becky's very aggressive, Bayley's very aggressive. There was like so many close spots in this match. I honestly lost count, considering like how many close calls there were within this match itself. And this is just, again, another thing, like we said earlier, to open up the show, just to showcase how great your women's division is when you got a newcomer like Lyra that's going to be the future of the business, and then you got two veterans with Becky and Bayley, showcasing what they're made of. Also being a part of an Evolution PLE before, when it comes to the very first one, because you even had Michael Cole, I believe, mention that Becky and Charlotte had a match with one another on here, where Becky managed to beat Charlotte here. So it just goes to show, looking at that Becky from that Evolution pay-per-view and looking at to where she is now, it's just like a whole different ball game when it comes to their growth, because they're not the same people that they were before. They got a lot stronger. They got a lot more calculated when it comes to how competitive they are in the ring, and how they could read one another a lot easier, considering how long they've been in the business. So they know a lot of the veteran moves, just like the veterans that they grew up watching. They're pretty much in that playing field now when it comes to them. So I really liked it. I mean, there's not much else I could really say. I just thought it was very well done, and it just goes to show that I mean, triple threat matches, I would have to say, when it comes to this year in WWE, like a lot of the triple threat matches that we have been getting have been hitting really hard when it comes to what we got at the women's triple threat at WrestleMania. When it comes to this, I mean, this is another match you could throw in there when it comes to, another great women's match for WWE when it comes to what happened here. And I had a feeling it was going to be this way, just looking at who's involved here. But I had a really good time with this one. I had a really good time. And like I said, to open it up, and like Watkins alluded to, that pin was just the cherry on top to really finish it off. Like, I just loved it.
And I love how this was. Oh yeah, it was great. Fire open. It might have been the best opening match of the whole weekend, at least. Yeah. Like, yeah. Thinking about it now, it probably was the best opening match this whole weekend. There was something else I was gonna add too. Shoot. I don't remember now. Vash, on to you now. What'd you think of the match? The finish, all the action going on, all the speed, all the technique, everything. Like, how did this match make you feel? How did you like it? Talk to me.
This match was amazing, very solid. It was back to back. It was straight action. It was reversal after reversal. Each woman in this triple threat was kind of, we're kind of foiling their plans. It's like Watkins is champion, but me and Nick are trying to stop each other, but also we're trying to stop Watkins from winning. We keep going at it from each other, and without stopping. Like, it felt like the gear didn't stop, and that was the best kind. The match felt like it was on all cylinders, and it kept going up the notch. I love what Dropper Watkins said. That finisher, one of the best type of finishers by our girl Becky Lynch, by getting down, roll over, and by getting Bayley in that position, and it was just really smooth in that transition. It was so smooth. To me, it was one of the best triple threat of this year. We have a couple to really say like top 10. I can't wait for by the end of the year, because right now I know I have like already top 5 or 4 matches already so far for the year. So I can't wait to see what's going to be happening by the end of the year, to see in this conversation like best triple threat, best match overall. So it's going to be a great conversation for us. But additionally, it's just Becky winning. I'm just curious to see what's next for her, but I can't wait for us to kind of dive more deep what's in the story, because right now with Becky and Lyra, I'm not saying that I want them gone, but like I want somebody else next to be adding in this feud, or just add somebody else in this faction. Sorry, in this factor and become a variable. Because right now with Lyra and Bayley, this is good in cooking. If Bayley wants to go to Naomi or something cool, but right now I like what's going on. I just don't want to go back. Hey, I want another rematch. It's like, hey, add another variable, because I don't want this to get stale. Continue have the gears turning, because I want to see what else can this evolve to.
Right. Okay. All right. I can see that. The only other thing I want to add is I did see. I don't know if you guys saw this social media video with Becky Lynch walking backstage after the match, and she made a comment about like, oh, they want to call me Becky Hogan. Nah, I'm Becky freaking Lynch. And I'm like, oh, look at you taking your husband's middle name now. Oh, freaking, isn't that adorable? But that's the thing. Like, if anything, she can't. I mean, all 3 of them, obviously, but like Becky, especially, like, even just, I mean, that finish. I'm sorry not to keep harping on it. It's just, it was so smooth how it went down, and it just really speaks to just her mastery in the ring, and to pull off things like just how good she is. Like, nah, stop that Hogan shit. Like, he's gone. He's done. We don't have to worry about a Hulk Hogan anymore. Don't worry about it. He's not doing anything of note. Yeah.
We don't.
Man. But yeah, banger of an opening. Like, highly recommend if you watch one of any match on this card, it should either be the main event or the opener. Like, it's barn burner, man. Good.
I would say that this may be a match that we may come back to by the end of the year, or by next couple months, and swing by like this will be a continuous. But I'm very happy that this was an opening match. We have asked that, hey, this should be main event, the event itself, but to actually
Could have.
have opening the event itself, I'm okay. Because this was a good way to kind of start the action, start the momentum, and it was
Yeah.
really consistent. So I have no problem.
I mean, I will say this though, when it comes to how they structure these PLEs, the best way to really do it is to have a good opening and have a good closer. And I feel like the decisions that they made a lot of sense.
Yep.
Yeah, and who was it? Because I know I've said this before. I want to say it was Jericho. It might have been Jericho on his podcast one time, and it kind of changed my mindset on like openings and closers, because he had I believe it was him or it was somebody. They made a comment like, "Yeah, I would rather open the show than be anywhere else on the card." Why? Because that's when the crowd is at its hottest. You're right at the start. You have to not only like
maybe it was Jericho.
it might have been, but like you latch onto like that opening hype for the show, and you just capitalize on that, make them more hype, make them like wish everything after you didn't happen. Like it's that kind of mentality. So it's like, okay, I get that mindset. So whenever like something's the opening, like, oh, why is this the opening? I'm just like, nah, this is good. This means that they're gonna start off with some heat, and I'm at the peak of my heat right now. Let's get this. Let's get on this. So yeah, more fire openings like this, as always. WWE, they've really been hitting the nail with these openings of these PLEs. I will say that this year, like we've had some good ones. But you know, we're gonna get to the matches now that like have different things that are away from like world titles, or at least for a couple of these matches. One of them being for the women's tag team titles. We had fatal 4-way teams, one team from each brand, and the champions. We had Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez defending against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, the Kabuki Warriors, and Zaria and Sol Ruca. So each team getting a chance to kind of show out what they can do in their teamwork and all that. Like you basically had that kind of moment just in fatal 4-way tag team form. Yeah. But like most of the talking points here kind of come like, at least for me, they come from the ending and how that played out. Because like you had everybody just kind of tagging in different partners. Like you had, I love Raquel's little tag to Alexa just on the top of her head, just booping her. That was funny. But like you just had all these people just tagging each other in. And at one point, I'm glad Wade Barrett said something. I kind of lost track of who was legal at the point. I'm just like, wait, okay, hold on. So I know Sol Ruca is because she like rolled out of like a finish and all that, but who got tagged out? Some, because okay, that was Alexa. Charlotte. Like my mind went haywire. I was just like, who is legal right now?
Yeah,
that moment was beautiful that you just mentioned of Charlotte grabbing Alexa that was about to get the spear from Zaria. And just, that moment was wholesome. If anybody should look at that, Charlotte grabbing Alexa and just holding her, and the crowd of Atlanta was screaming for Charlotte. I even was excited for her. This is a Charlotte that I love. This is a Charlotte that I love. It's a happy Charlotte. Cocky Charlotte is good, but it seems too not egotistic. It's too what's the word I'm looking for?
Confident?
Not confident. Too much on your word of the family name of Flair. Not the word I'm looking for. I'll come back to when I do. Yeah. But when it comes to the name of Charlotte herself, just seeing that she's being loved and seeing that she's being screamed at by how much she is by the fans of Atlanta and how much of what she's doing for her, she literally got in. People were screaming, Charlotte, Charlotte. They tag her in. The pop she got. She literally saved Alexa from getting speared. And who got speared instead? Well, so Ruca, Zaria partner, and that's gonna maybe start something on Tuesday on NXT. And we have Charlotte just holding we have Charlotte holding Alexa Bliss in such a wholesome way, like, girl, I got you, I save you. And Alexa Bliss was like, damn, that could have been me. That spear that could have cut me in half. And then, been done nothing. So I love that moment. That's one of my favorite moments. And by the way, so Ruca, continue shouting out. I want to give you a shout out again. You work from Tuesday, from Wednesday, from Fridays, from Saturday to Sunday. So great work ethic you did. Even though this Fatal 4-Way was a 10-minute, almost 11-minute match, wish it was a couple minutes longer, but it was good enough to showcase all the women in their spots. So Ruca was loved even by the Kabuki Warriors when she came with her entrance. The Kabuki Warriors are like, oh, look at her doing the little the belt thing with her booty and everything. The Kabuki Warriors was just laughing at that, making it wholesome. So it's good to show that even their opponents still kind of showing love outside the ring, even the match hasn't started. So that's one thing I want to give a shout out to as well. But before I continue on, Job, what else you got to add about this match of the Fatal 4-Way?
I mean, if you want us to care about the women's tag titles, these are the kind of matches that you need to be giving us on a regular basis. This is the kind of stuff that we want so we can appreciate what else you guys have with the women's roster. Like, if you were able to deliver a PLE like this, and you were able to showcase when it comes to one-on-one matches, triple threats, tag matches, I mean, it just goes to show that you're capable of doing it, so you need to do it more. And this gives more eyes on the future of these ladies, because people know who Charlotte is, people know who Alexa is, people know who Asuka is. Now it's time to, get those eyes on Ruca and Zaria when they come up, which I already know whenever Ruca's kind of come up, she's going to do great, because no matter where you put her, she just knows how to fit in. I love that spot that she had with Charlotte with the Soul Snatcher. Like I mentioned, the Soul Snatcher is probably one of my favorite new finishing moves as of recent memory when it comes to a lot of these newer women's wrestlers right now. I just love how she executes that. She just knows how to do it very well. And then also, just putting Raquel and Roxanne in the gauntlet as well, because this was the whole test to really show how far they're able to go. And when you're going up against somebody like Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, that's a tough obstacle to overcome, considering the amount of championships that Charlotte has and Alexa, and just knowing how long they've been in the game, just to really show that they're a big deal. Same thing with Asuka and Kairi Sane, and even going up against newcomers as well, just to get some eyes on Zaria and Ruca, which Ruca does have history with Roxanne, Perez, and Zaria, considering that they've been in the same playground before on NXT. So it's like, I'm glad you're able to showcase that. So you got more growth with Raquel and Roxanne's relationship when it comes to the both of them. You got more growth with Charlotte and Alexa's relationship when it comes to how close they're getting, how Charlotte is able to, help out Alexa and prevent her from, getting that spear from Zaria, which definitely that spear that Zaria had was executed very well. And I like how Ruca sold it. It was just great. I mean, that this is the kind of things I want to see. If you could do this on a regular basis, I know they've been absent for a little bit, but now that they're on the mind now, maybe we should just, continue. You take what you did here and just keep going forward with it. That's something I want to see.
Yeah. And I mean, sure. I mean, again, like all the women did fantastic tonight in this match, but like just Charlotte in general, like that hot tag too, when Alexa finally got her in, the crowd were, I haven't heard a crowd that loud for Charlotte in a hot minute. Like even when she came back, like the crowd tonight in Atlanta were on fire for Charlotte. And I think a lot of that kind of came from, and they've mentioned it a couple times on commentary this week about that news, not that news article, like I forgot what they actually called it, but that I feel bad not knowing the actual name of it. But basically she wrote this whole thing about like the past. Yeah, like basically her mindset throughout the past few years and all that. She shared that with the world basically, and it really kind of changed a lot of people's just like thought process on Charlotte. And I think that's why like you're getting this upswell now, because like now that we have now we know where your mindset is, we can understand you now. And like the stuff that's going on with Alexa, you can tell, like just on Friday, I'd made a comment. You could tell that Charlotte is getting into this. Like it feels like there's a weight off her shoulder. Like this, like shadowy figure isn't like holding her back anymore. Like it feels like she's been revitalized,
We want
and you
Charlotte
really
chance.
saw that tonight.
We want Charlotte chance.
Yeah, dude.
That was
When's the
beautiful to
last time
see.
you heard that?
Yeah.
Like,
It felt beautiful to see. Honestly, as a fan, like, hey, I was not there when she won like 8 champions within 2 months. But I was seeing her actually caught out, seeing the I'm still trying to remember the article name. Nope, can't remember. But it's just seeing what she has done. Hopefully, we see next couple weeks. So, like she even was hanging out with Alexa Child on SmackDown after the event, and her like it just shows that she's just being more genuine, more herself, more happy, whichever reason it may be, is good. We want to see the rest of the show a bit of their side. Like even John Cena, even Cody have said it that the character on screen has become more of them. Just turn to 11, turn to 12. It's like a bit of them. So Charlotte, if you want to see a bit of you, show who you are. If you say that you're a nice, sweet person, and we get it, you're us fans that do care, we're not calling you an old wrestler. Fuck the people that do call it. Continue being you, continue being happy, continue expressing who you are, because we love what you did here. The Atlanta audience love it. So I know you're gonna do a lot much better in the future, because hey, we might actually see your 14th or 15th title down the line if you continue getting love like this. Maybe next year at WrestleMania or Royal Rumble. We know that you said it yourself that you're still waiting for Charlotte and Bianca having your classic match. So who knows?
Yeah, and I think this match really did what it needed to do. Like we've pretty much said here too. We're getting eyes on NXT through what happened with Zaria and Sol Ruca, and just the action that Sol Ruca was able to pull off too. Again, that soul snatcher. The Kabuki Warriors, I feel like they were just the team that was there, at least in this instance. Like they basically just added prestige for the match. Like, and that's again not anything to say against what they did in the ring. It's just that's kind of what their role was for this match, which is fine. Everybody has their role, and I think everybody played their role to perfection, including the Judgment Day, because they're proving yet again what it means when you listen to Finn, you start to win. Because here's the thing, he brought her in Roxanne Perez. They kept the tag titles when Liv got injured. Like, he's being proven right. I'm sorry. When you listen to Finn, you win. Like,
no, you're not wrong. It's just I'm curious to see what's gonna be happening on Monday and what Finn's gonna be like. Look at me, look guys. You talk,
he's gonna be insufferable.
He's gonna be sounding so condescending, like, bro, shut the fuck up. We know us fans will be like, bro, and then smile in the back after people leave, like, yes, guys.
Yeah,
you be like, really, Finn? We all know damn well you're doing this on purpose, but it shows that he's a strategist, and like he's a person that works behind the scenes, and that's what it is. When you know what you're doing, when you got a game plan, and you are working the chess piece and playing that 4D chess while people are playing still checkers. That's easy to do checkmate. That's what I'm saying, Chad.
Yeah. So again, just intertwining storylines like this, which is good to get your investment ready and through with when it comes to WWE product. I'm just hoping Alexa and Charlotte stay a team after this still. I think there's still legs they could do with that. So with them as a team, because they're good. Yeah. Yeah, so again, Judgment Day ended up retaining their tag team titles. Good on, like, Raquel and Roxanne seem to be building some sort of chemistry. I'm glad we also got on commentary too. They did make sure to note this was the first time they teamed up together. So just seeing how they were able to communicate and still, they were able to retain the titles. So job well done, everybody. Great. You kind of see Raquel like warming up to Roxanne and all that.
Yeah. My question, I'm not sure if you want to chime in as well, Walkers, but my question to drop is, you have any thoughts or speculation of what's gonna be happening on Tuesday when it comes to Sol Ruca and Zaria, their relationship? You think that's gonna bring up the conversation like you did Spear, or do you think they're gonna brush off the rug and still have it pan out for a couple more months, a couple more weeks? Have any thoughts about this?
Well, I know that isn't the first time that something like that happened between the both of them. So all I can say here right now is I would assume maybe we might dive a little bit into it now, because Sol doesn't really have anyone lined up right now, because she defended her title yesterday. She won her match against Izzy Dame. So it's like if they wanted to dive into whatever's going on with her and Zaria now, they could. But I want to see exactly like what else there really is to really like have that tension between the both of them, because it's just got to be a little bit more than the whole spear thing, just because it's happened once. So there needs to be something else that really has them, you know, button heads. But I mean, it's eventually going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens at Heatwave next month. So I would assume you'll get that Zaria heel turn eventually. I'll just have to wait and see like what comes up on Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to see what happens on Tuesday with everything, and obviously we'll see more of stuff on Monday, tomorrow night, with Judgment Day and maybe Kabuki Warriors too. They might want to still get some sort of revenge going on or whatever. But you know, we'll stick on this NXT train right now while we're on it, because we have the NXT Women's title on the line. Jacy Jayne defending against Jordynne Grace. So at the beginning of this podcast, you know, I had mentioned, hey, you know, this is probably the weaker match of the night. Part of that may have, well, no, it's not really just investment level, I guess. It's just I also kind of wanted Jordynne Grace to win because I want to have her be rewarded for all of her hard work. But I guess the work's not done yet, and she's still got stuff to do. Some of that stuff, including choosing who you want to be friends with. Because she had invited Blake Monroe to accompany her to the match and all that, which she did. You know, they're pretty good friends. So yeah, I'll have your back, Jordynne Grace. Don't worry, it's all good. So again, it is a pretty good match throughout. Jordynne Grace pulling out all these big suplexes, hitting hard against Jacy Jayne, who is trying to cheat throughout most of the match. Thanks, Fatal Influence, for your hard work in that part. But once they start getting more physically involved, that's when Blake Monroe comes in. She ends up taking out both ladies, and she's holding on to the title. And there's a moment where the referee gets distracted by one of the members of Fatal Influence, and Jordynne Grace gets thrown into the ropes and gets a belt to the back by Blake Monroe, turning heel in the process towards Jordynne Grace, costing her the match. And she just easily gives the title back to Jacy Jayne, gives a nice little wink, hee hee tee hee, I'm still a heel, fuck all of you. So Jop, you're more of the NXT guy here, so I'll leave you to like most of this discussion, because like I know I've said, like, I want Jordynne Grace to get her flowers and get her due, but like now it's just like, okay, are we sacrificing the moment for the opponent, or like what are we doing with like her rise to glory and all that? But again, I'll leave it more to you, because like you watch more on the weekly basis than I do.
So, like, when it comes to this in itself, I could see what you mean when it comes to Jordynne Grace finally getting rewarded, because she has been on there ever since they had the Royal Rumble, and then she eventually made her appearance on NXT. And you would think she would at least have won either the North American title or the NXT Women's title at this point. And there's just been a lot of opportunities that was there. Like, you could have had that match that Stephanie Vaquer had with her before Stephanie Vaquer had that match with Jacy Jayne, and then you had that upset where Jacy Jayne won the match. You could have had her win the title right there, which is what I was thinking around the time, because that was when they were really starting to really push that whole narrative of Stephanie Vaquer being on Monday Night Raw. But you ended up having Stephanie win that match, and then you have another opportunity like this where she gets another shot at the title. So it's like, I honestly feel at this point we might have to take a little break with that, because I'm just starting to feel it's like how many more opportunities are left, because we did bring this up on Thursday when we were talking about all of our predictions, where there's so many times you could really, you know, do this thing with Jordynne Grace when it comes to the title. and it seems like we probably know what she's doing in the meantime. And I don't really know for sure if she's gonna win this match, because to me it's almost telling me that we might be preparing for her send-off match, considering that you have like what transpired later in the match with Blake Monroe, where she ended up turning heel and she hit her in the back with the belt that allowed Jacy Jayne to get the win. So that's almost telling me they're going to dive into that. They're going to have those ladies feud. I would assume Blake Monroe would probably win that match, and then you would probably, I mean, at least I would honestly, I'm not even looking at who wins that match. I would just put her on the main roster at this point, because I really don't know what else she could really do at this point. I mean, I just feel like throw her on SmackDown, have her run a program with Julia. Maybe she could win the title there whenever Julia's had it for a little bit, and then you could go from there, because I just don't really see what else you could really do with Jordynne Grace there on NXT. But like this match itself, like what I will say that I did like about it is I will say I appreciated seeing a little bit more from Jacy Jayne compared to what we typically see from her, because it was honestly kind of hard to really see what she could really do, because she really isn't in the ring as long, just based on how they were booking her before. But I'm glad at the very least you were able to see what she could do in the ring, even if it wasn't much. You were able to see, you know, she was able to put on a match with her, instead of it being like, you know, Jordynne Grace just throwing her around like a rag doll. At least there was some spots in there where she was able to like do her thing for a little bit. And, you know, Jordynne Grace, I mean, it's kind of hard to really say you don't enjoy seeing her in the ring, because she always does a lot of these nice spots within the match itself. But I feel like the real picture here now is the main talking point that I notice a lot of people talking about outside of the match itself, because I don't really see that much conversation about this match at all. It's mainly because of the whole Blake Monroe heel turn, which would probably end up turning into a blood feud between the both of these, because you already had Jordynne Grace calling her out on social media, calling her, I believe somebody even said that when the whole thing happened and Blake Monroe was like walking away, like she ended up calling her a slut.
No.
So it's like you already have like some stuff going there. And I actually kind of like the dynamic now that I think about it, because you have like this super tough girl like Jordynne Grace almost going up against like, you know, the preppy girl at school when it comes to Blake Monroe. So it's kind of interesting to see that dynamic between the both of them, because it just makes it interesting, because it's like, oh, look at this person, you know, that's the tough chick. You don't want to mess around with her, but then you got this preppy girl where she could read you like a book, and she could just make you look like a total idiot if you just mess up even once. And I think, and I honestly feel like that was probably a smart move for them to do. I'm glad they didn't really prolong it for like 5 to 6 months like they typically do, because Mariah May just works better as a heel. Because I had a feeling this whole stick of her being a face wasn't gonna last long anyway.
Oh no. And that was we were all waiting for that moment, and I mean Jordynne Grace gave us the moment, so thank you for that at least.
And what better way to really have like a tough and serious competitor than Jordynne Grace going up against a preppy bitch like that? So it's like,
exactly.
I really like it, and I feel like the audience can probably fully get behind. Not saying they weren't, because she does get a reaction, but at least now you could really see what Mariah May is all about, because when she's playing her heel character, that's where the character work really shines, because it's almost like you have like training wheels on you. She kind of had those little training wheels on her as a face, where it's like you had a little skill tree, but that skill tree was blocked off because you had to be a certain person to unlock that skill tree. Now that she has that skill tree, and now that she's a heel, whole arsenal of weapons for her to choose from to fire back at Jordynne Grace, and it's not going to be pretty shit, I'll say that.
And she's already got the heat for it too, because again, like I got heated. I was just like, God, when, like, literally in our Discord, I asked the question, when can we finally just like give her the title? Never. Oh, okay, cool, great. Well, all right, yeah, just move her to the main roster at this point, have her do something different then. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad Blake. I think that's the thing. Is like, they brought her in. They kind of knew she was going to be cheered, so they're like, "All right, we'll start you as a face because just like what you said. Yeah, we'll see what everybody has with you, but then immediately pull the rug from right onto them and have you get really good heel heat too. Because yeah, people were not happy about that. Even though you could kind of see it happening if you watch the product and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
so,
Vash, yeah,
chat. I was also saying a comment towards what Walker said that was beautiful, but also I saw a tweet saying, I hope those We Want Charlotte chants made Charlotte so light up. She deserves them, and every single woo she got tonight."
mhm,
And Charlotte just responded recently saying it meant everything to me. So it just shows that like those little small things from the fans and like the audience, the superstars see eventually and is
yeah,
appreciated. So like the fans here watching our stream and watching our podcast, the same thing for us. If you guys write any comment section down below and let us know what you think about the
mhm,
show itself, and also like the stream is very appreciated as well.
yeah, yeah. So yeah,
But
that I
the
mean,
but the
yeah,
actual match itself about the NXT, about Jordynne Grace, and when it comes to with Blake Monroe versus Jacy Jayne, right? So
yeah,
just
yeah,
yes, thank you. With Jacy Jayne, look, this is the match that, like we mentioned earlier, was the weakest for me. Not saying it was a bad match. It was just like I was expecting Jordynne Grace to win. I'm like, all right, cool. This may be the time because
Oh, yeah.
mhm,
Julia, Stephanie Vaquer have moved up to main roster just being here within a year, and they have won one title or two titles nonetheless. However, Jordynne Grace, she has not won it, and she has been appearing SmackDown once or twice already in the past couple months.
mhm,
So for her to not be on the roster, but then also lose twice, great for the heel turn. Nonetheless, I agree with the guys with what they said 100%, that the heel turn has been nice when it came to Blake Monroe and getting the extra push. But I wonder what's next for this relationship. Are we gonna get a feud now between them without the title? Or are we gonna get triple threat to lead up to Heat Wave within the next month? What's gonna be the next plan? Because
Possible.
I'm glad for Jacy Jayne. One thing I would say, like I mentioned last night for our NXT coverage when I did, that I'm glad for Jacy Jayne and Fatal Influence. By the end of the show, Jacy Jayne did an interview with, I believe, Jackie, and Jacy Jayne had no voice. She had like a rough voice. She spoke the most she could, but then she passed it to Fallon Henley, and literally speaking, like, we brought up Fatal Influence. We had a rough start, but we told the people that we will be running this division of NXT, and we showed them out tonight that we've been doing our thing and everything. And I just want to say, even whatever you guys may think that she is a beatable champion, it just shows that Shawn Michaels is giving the woman opportunities that, hey, if you believe you could do this, let's see if you succeed. If you succeeded, I'm gonna continue pushing. And when the time is to come for whoever now, Jordynne
Yeah.
Grace might not get the title, or is gonna go straight to Blake Monroe, and maybe Jordynne Grace just be one of those superstars like like Becky Lynch that just don't go with a title, goes to the main roster, and it comes back later in the coming years to be like, hey, let me help these other superstars. Not that I have got my accolades,
mhm.
I could get the smaller titles and I could help them, and where she could become a Grand Slam in the future. Who
Mm.
knows? But I know, Job, you want to comment about what could be happening for Heat Wave?
I mean, I could definitely see either a Blake Monroe versus Jordynne Grace match happening, or I could see a triple threat potentially happening as well. And maybe that's your way of, keeping Jordynne Grace safe. Maybe you have Jacy Jayne get pinned by Blake Monroe, because I definitely feel like the next title is definitely going towards her. And another thing I forgot to mention as well is
Yeah, what's up?
I was pretty confident with who was going to win this match, but I
Mhm.
also got spoiled on this result as well, because
Wait, what?
TNA does tapings. And I saw an image
Oh.
surface online where I saw Jacy Jayne hold up the title against Masha Slamovich. So even though I had my prediction of mine of who was winning this, I did see that. So that kind of like surfaced on line 2, where I'm like, okay,
Ooh, okay.
yeah,
Sucks.
that's the only downfall about TNA.
Hey,
Yeah.
but let's speak about like quick side 10 seconds. At least we heard the rumor that TNA may be going on to a weekly type of thing by next year. So hope of them best of luck, because I know that they might be up and coming with like the next thing behind NXT as a weekly type of thing. So hopefully that weekly programming instead of taping won't hurt them no more when it comes to their collaboration with NXT, where they're kind of spoiling the fans, or maybe having that where their own spot. So who knows? But you did bring up a good point, because I've heard a few times that the spoilers from from the tapings kind of hurt them sometimes.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah. Yeah, not a good way to really do your episodic wrestling show, but that's whatever. All right, yeah. So moving on right along to our final match that we'll talk about. The WWE Women's title was on the line. Tiffany Stratton defending against Trish Stratus. Trish proving why she's a legend in the game and getting better, basically getting better with age, almost like a fine wine, if you will. Like, oh man, but that's all I'm going to say about that. But hell of a match, considering the build we got for this. This was a really good match between the two, and it really almost like how Naomi was on top of the match for the most part against Jade. Kind of the same here. Trish had Tiffany on the back burner for a lot of this. Like, she was on top for the majority of this match. But of course, it ends with Tiffy finally countering Trish's moonsault, because like she was able to kick out Stratus faction and all that. Trish went up top, which she rarely does like that. So the commentary noted, oh, she's probably paying homage to her friend Lita and all that, which, you know what? Cool, great. Learn from your enemies. Again, iron sharpens iron and all that. But she didn't get to hit the moonsault. Tiffany reversed it, hit her Alabama slam, and then the prettiest moonsault ever to win the match, get one over on Trish Stratus. Again, thought the match was really good considering the lack of build that we got from it. And yeah, just thank you, Trish. Honestly, Trish should have one last run with the belt. I think she proved tonight that like she can really go well with these new stars coming. Kind of like what we were talking about earlier with Nikki Bella. Like, this is a whole different playing field for Trish Stratus to play around too. And after tonight, I mean, she's barely missed any steps whatsoever. And when's the last time she had a freaking singles match? Like, not even just for a title either, because commentary confusing me with all that. They were like, yeah, she didn't have a singles match in like 18 years. I'm like, wait, what? 18 years? And then it's just like, oh wait, singles match for the title. I'm like, what? I don't know. I had to do a lot of like math in my head at that time, be like, okay, wait, hold on, that was this period. Was she in the company that period? Yeah, whatever. What you guys think of the match though? Drop, I'll start with you with this one again. What do you think of the match overall? And just like, I mean, Tiffany's now going to be facing Jade, possibly at, well, yeah, not possibly. She is facing Jade at SummerSlam now. So I guess moving along with that storyline and all that, and just like, yeah, just the match overall.
So I thought this match, again, like showed that Trish is still able to deliver in the ring. And I felt that way ever since her and Becky Lynch had that steel cage match at No Mercy a couple years ago. And I really liked it because it just goes to show that, you know, you got Becky Lynch here, you got Trish Stratus that's been here for many years now, and just seeing her just being able to put on a contest like this and just go up against Tiffany Stratton, which is the newcomer here, it was just really good overall, because it's like the way that they move around the ring like isn't far off with like how Trish was in her younger days, because she was very athletic and she was doing a lot of similar things that Tiffany does when it comes to like moving around the ring and doing a lot of these athletics moves. Like whenever she does a Stratisfaction, you know, you got to get some good leverage if you really want to deliver that move. Like you need to make sure you're timing it accordingly in order to really get a successful hit out of it. Same thing with the chick kick. you got to make sure you time that accordingly when it comes to, you know, hitting it at a good timing point, so you could really stun your opponent and you could just have them meet the floor in that ring. So I just really liked how, you know, these two actually took some time to be around each other, because, you know, they had a run in earlier this year, and then they had that tag match, were able to work alongside each other. And we've also seen pictures of them online as well. So I would assume they probably have worked out one another and probably trained with each other in the ring, because there's a lot of photos with them at the gym. So this is probably where everything really took off here when it comes to this match. And I was waiting to see whenever we were going to get this match, because they were teasing it, but we never got it yet. Now that we did, I can, you know, easily say that, you know, whenever you want to throw Trish in here again to have another match or so, you know, you're not going to get a complaint out of me, because, you know, it's still very entertaining to show what she's able to do. And it's also really nice as well that Tiffany Stratton was able to have a match of her, because I always like seeing the new generation against the older generation, just showing, you know, the people that I grew up watching. I can't really say that I was there around that time when Trish Stratus was there, but I was mainly growing up with people like Becky and Charlotte growing up as a kid. But I will say, you know, when it comes to people that were from that era and looking at people, looking at, you know, where the women's division is in this era, it's really nice to see two sides of like fans when it comes to who they grew up watching on television. Because it's like, if I had kids now, you know, they'll be growing up with Lyra Valkyria and Tiffany Stratton and Lash Legend and all these newcomers that are coming to the roster, compared to me watching, like, you know, Trish Stratus when I was younger, Becky Lynch and Charlotte and, you know, Melina, Mickie James and all of them. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I did like how Trish Stratus was able to read Tiffany pretty well in this match when it comes to calculating when she was going to strike. So I thought that was really nice. And the finish itself, where she hit the Alabama Slam and she was able to hit the prettiest moonsault ever for the win. It's really nice. And this has been a common thing with me as well. Whenever Tiffany hits this, I always worry for her when she does like that quick step up to get on the top rope. Because I always worry.
A little slight slip.
Yeah, because I always worry if it's going to, like, I don't want it to happen, but I just don't want it to accidentally slip up and then we get something serious happen. Because I feel like for the most part, it's a muscle memory. So her legs probably know, okay, you know, this is how it is. Because when you have muscle memory of something, like, I can forget password on my phone, but if I know the rhythm on my phone when it comes to how I type in my password, I can get onto the phone. So I would assume, you know, that she has a lot of muscle memory with that move. She's perfectly fine, but I just can't help but worry sometimes, because you never know when things might head south when it comes to something like that. But Tiffany Stratton was able to compete against a villain like Trish Stratus, and she's heading into SummerSlam against Jade Cargill.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck against that opponent there, Tiffy.
Oh yeah.
Vash, what do you think of the match? And just like, I mean, yeah, I guess your history with all this and how it kind of a bit of a pass of the torch moment, if you will, between like different wrestling generations. But yeah, what do you think of this match?
My match was fun. Because I was watching a wifey, and a big shout out to my wife, because for context and purposes, audience, my wife don't watch wrestling for the past 20 something years like I have. I'm 29. I've from my recollection, I've at least watched 20 years that of wrestling knowledge I know. My wife hasn't. So when she saw, you know, Tiffany come out, great. She knows her from the past year of us watching. When Trish Stratus came out, she's like, "Oh, is she a new superstar?" And it was the most adorable, wholesome thing. She was like, "Oh, I don't recognize her." She knew. I'm like, "Nope, she's actually." I'm like, "Babe, she was actually had a shirt on Friday Night Smack that said your first crush." Was she one of my first crush back 20 something years ago? No, it was Lita. Then Trish was probably like next 5 there. But it was just very fun just to have the experience with my wife, and just seeing this experience of seeing, like you said, Walker, passing the torch of the old generation to now how with Tiffany, and how you said it beautifully that Trish have somehow gotten better over time as a wrestler, and we just still see her at least 3 to 5 times a year, maybe wrestle 2 to 3 times a year, and she always don't miss a step, and she somehow looks just more better or more
Mhm.
smoother to do her moves, and she performs well. She doesn't do anything too crazy. She keeps it consistent, and she knows how to play the role, sells well, and like the whole package. And do I agree that can she get another belt? I feel like if she would have won tonight, chat, I would have been fine. Honestly, would have been fine if she won and then lost to Tiffany maybe next week on a rematch or 2 weeks, like just to have that moment.
Mhm.
I feel like I would have been okay with. Would have been sad or anything. No, I would have been okay because I'm a big fan of Trish and just seeing her flowers do it. And she said it to herself. I believe Michael Cole brought up the conversation that if this is her last match, no, that we don't know when is like the last match for her to actually stay retired. But I love how she stays in shape and she doesn't mind coming in here and there and be part of that. And she was sponsoring and promoting. Sorry, wrong word. Sponsor. She was helping promoting Evolution this past week on radio station. So it shows how much passion she is. She looked great in the ring. My girl was like, she don't look a day of 50, and guess what? She's 49 years old. She's on a beautiful spot of age. So bless her soul.
Still would. Still would. Wait, what? Yeah, no. It was a really good match. Yeah, just yeah, nothing more to say really. I mean, it just fits the theme of the night of Evolution, because you had the new generation now facing off somebody that was starting off in like the very very late 90s, early 2000s, like having just that generational gap facing off against each other. And it's not Snoresville, it's not Oldberg trying to do a freaking spear and gassing himself at like 2 steps. What?
Yeah.
What, she can actually still go? Nani the fuck? All right, great, awesome. Yeah, I mean, and again, like I said before, I mean, considering the build we had for it, which was almost nothing. I mean, you look back on SmackDown's discussion for all that, for that little caveat there. But yeah, I mean, not much more to say here other than Tiffany now looks really strong going into SummerSlam, facing off against Jade Cargill. We'll have to see how that match ends up. But yeah, kind of moving on now because that's all the matches. That's all the stories we get. That's all the stuff we have to talk about tonight. We've reached our final thoughts and outro section of our podcast. Honestly, what my final thoughts, I basically said at the beginning of this show. WWE, you have a chance, you have an opportunity to really like light hit a soft reset on your product. You prove that you could have a really good event with 7 matches when you're not focused on like traveling ads and like taking way too much time between matches. Like, learn from this show and also just give us a all women's show every year like this, because if anything, they definitely proved they were not the worst show this weekend. You want to see probably the worst show this weekend? I mean, I know I didn't watch NXT, but I can almost guarantee it was probably better than Saturday night's main event.
Yep.
Like, I can almost guarantee that. So yeah, your little test of trying to make this fail so you don't have to do another one, no, you've succeeded this year in creating a really good show just all across the board from it. But yeah, most of those thoughts you could hear at the beginning of it. Guys, do you have anything else you wanted to add for all this? Vash, go ahead. Is there anything you wanted to add as final thoughts and
Check out
leading to the end of the show?
Go check out Naomi's press conference. She literally gave a 48-minute beautiful resentment of empowerment, believing in yourself and not giving up, not quitting who you are. I'm not gonna paraphrase more than that because it was just you felt the emotion, you felt the expression of her role and the character she is, but you felt also Trinity in herself. But 100% agree with Watkins on the best thing I could add that this was a 7-match card. It went from 7 p.m. to like 10:25, 10:30. And it did not feel like it slowed down. It was good and consistent, and I was happy with the event. Now, there was video packages involving the next match, and then the match started, the entrance started, and the match continued. It did not go too slow, and it was consistent. As a fan, I enjoyed it. Give me Evolution 2 next year. Give me Evolution 3, Evolution 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dance on that number. So I would love to see more of that.
All right. Excellent. I would like to see more of that too. But Drop, any final thoughts that you wanted to add after all of our conversations from tonight?
I think I said it pretty well in the beginning. If you could show us like what you're capable of doing with these ladies tonight when it comes to the kind of matches that you delivered on the card, when it comes to the kind of stories that you could tell as well, then this should be a regular thing that we're seeing moving forward. It shows that you have the effort. It shows that you're capable of creating magic if you decide to do so. So I'm just hoping all in all, we get some good stuff for these ladies moving forward when it comes to SummerSlam, when it comes to Clash in Paris, when it just comes to the future of the women's division as a whole. And I'm just really happy I was able to experience this because I had a really fun time. And I don't normally say this much, but it's like I said earlier, this is definitely a rewatchable PLE. I will definitely say that for sure.
I support that.
Yep. And you could always not only rewatch the pay-per-view, you could always rewatch our conversations about all these because, the VOD will be up after we're done going live here. So, if you are listening to the VOD, make sure to leave a comment down below. Let us know what you thought of Evolution 2. But hey, for all you live special viewers out there, you get a special message from me. Thank you.
Would you say this is the number 2 event out of the weekend? Because I would. Is AEW than this. Even though I haven't seen the 6-hour or 8-hour event, but I know from the few things I've seen how good some matches are overall. But this one, then I say Evolution. But since I haven't seen AEW, to me, Evolution, and then NXT, and then Saturday Night Main Event out of the weekend for me.
Yeah, no, and as somebody who sat there for all 6 hours of AEW, that was still the better show of the weekend, I think. But like this one, the gap's not that far between these two. Like this was a very solid show with good booking, great action. Like it was, definitely the second best show this weekend. And again, not taking anything away from the women because they would have had to compete with 6 hours of pure just wrestling goodness, at least in my eyes. But yeah, so we've reached the end. So for all of you live chatters out there, thank you for joining us tonight. For those of you watching the VOD, thank you for checking out the video because we appreciate you checking us out. And hey, again, leave a like, leave a comment. Be sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notified every time we go live for these fun little post-show discussions, whether they're PLEs or our normal Raw, SmackDown talks, and even grappling with the week when we talk about new stuff and all that. So at the end of the day, I am going to be thanking you guys for taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. If you enjoyed what we had to say, we have a plethora of social media accounts. You can see all of the handles on your screen. If not, there are lovely links in the description below to find all of our social media accounts. We usually stay consistent with our names on those. We have Anima Weebs Studio. They are the parent company of Weebs of the Ring, as well as Weebs of the Ring on any social media platforms. You got at Drop This Box, at Legendy Vash, at Watkins MW to hit us up on any social media accounts, but also use the hashtag Weebs of the Ring to join in on the conversation and definitely see when we're going live because we do send tweets out and all that stuff, and we do let you know, hey, here's a fun little thing for us we're doing this week. Join in on it. Cool, great. But hey, social media is always fun. Follow us there. We'll have fun with you as always, and enjoy this lovely thing we know as professional wrestling. And also, it's a good way to give us feedback because, hey, we're nothing without you guys tuning in, and we continue to want to up our game with every single episode we come out with. Weebs of the Ring is presented by Anime Studio. Thanks, of course, to our production team for all of their hard work. Thank you once again for joining us. And remember, as always, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you tomorrow for Monday Night Raw.
Buenas noches.
Have you seen?